Please return to your seats. Please return to your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, please return to your seats. The inductees are ready for induction.
The Senior Non-Commissioned Officer Corps is an influential group of professionals, a cadre of men and women who have proven their dedication, loyalty, and abilities in support of the Air Force mission. Master Sergeants transition from being master experts and first-line supervisors to operational leaders who merge their personal talents, skills, and resources with other teams' functions to most effectively accomplish the mission, all while they continue to develop their leadership and management skills. This rank carries significantly increased responsibilities and require a broad leadership and managerial perspective.
Each promotion within the enlisted ranks is a significant step in one's career. However, no step is as significant as the one that takes the non-commissioned officer into the senior non-commissioned officer tier. Each subsequent promotion becomes more difficult, yet more rewarding. It is with great pleasure that those present welcome you into the position of elevated authority, responsibility, and capability on behalf of our great Air Force.
Chief Ross and Chief Ariza, would you please proceed to the stage to present the inductees their memento? Please direct your attention to the honor cordon in the rear of the room. At this time, we would like to welcome tonight's Joint Base Andrews Senior Non-Commissioned Officer inductees.
Center, hit! Press center, hit! Right up, two.
And now we present to you our guest of honor, the Joint Base Andrews Senior Non-Commissioned Officer inductees. Please hold your applause until the last inductee has been announced. From the Air Force District of Washington, Master Sergeant Christopher Baker, escorted by Ms. Kaylee Witzel.
Or heart.
From the 316 Security Forces Group, Master Sergeant Corey Baker, escorted by his wife Kiara.
From the Presidential Logistics Squadron, Master Sergeant Colin Brochures, escorted by his parents Dave and Denise. From the Presidential Logistics Squadron, Master Sergeant William Bircher.
Are we in the middle? All right, right there. Okay, back down. One more. Yeah, okay.
From the 816 Security Forces Squadron, Master Sergeant Gino Cartero, escorted by his wife Olivia.
Let's go, Gino!
From the 316 Civil Engineer Squadron, Master Sergeant Frank Butler, escorted by his wife Jasmine. From the 316 Civil Engineer Squadron, Master Sergeant Nathan Sigmars, escorted by Tech Sergeant Daria Craig.
From the 89th Maintenance Group, Master Sergeant James Duncan, escorted by his wife Danielle.
From the 316th Wing, Master Sergeant Amber Gagnon, escorted by Mr. Richard Rangel.
From the 316 Medical Support Squadron, Master Sergeant Levon Grant, escorted by his wife Camille.
Yep. We got hope.
From the 816 Security Forces Squadron, Master Sergeant Jonathan Hogue, escorted by his wife Megan.
Let's go, Johnny.
From the 1st Airlift Squadron, Master Sergeant Johnny Hollis, escorted by his wife Tech Sergeant Amira Hollis.
From the 316 Security Forces Squadron, Master Sergeant Andrew Houston.
From the 316 Medical Group, Master Sergeant Lilibeth Jumawan.
You got a good one? Liv, you got a good one? One more?
From the 1st Airlift Squadron, Master Sergeant Ruben Lopez, escorted by his wife Jerica.
Transportation Squadron, Master Sergeant Jeremy Marshall, escorted by his wife Brittany.
From the 316th Dental Squadron, Master Sergeant Samuel Mattingly, escorted by his wife, First Lieutenant Jessica Mattingly.
Nervous with a smile.
From the 816 Security Forces Squadron, Master Sergeant Wesley Margaret.
Virtual. Come on. Virtual.
From the 816 Security Forces Squadron, Master Sergeant Alexander Morley, escorted by his daughter, Mackenzie.
From the 316 Civil Engineer Squadron, Master Sergeant Cassandra Mueller, escorted by her husband Doug.
From the 316 Civil Engineer Squadron, Master Sergeant Joshua Parrott, escorted by his wife Danielle.
From the 316 War Support Squadron, Master Sergeant Jules Ponton, escorted by his wife Samantha.
From the 1st Airlift Squadron, Master Sergeant Devin Ramirez, escorted by Ms. Sarah Hubbs. From the Presidential Airlift Squadron, Master Sergeant Carlos Rodriguez, escorted by his husband, Master Sergeant Noah Stebbins.
From the 316 Wing Command Post, Master Sergeant Kristen Sims, escorted by her son, Kristen. Today is also Kristen's 17th birthday. On behalf of the JDA team, happy birthday, Kristen.
From the 316 Force Support Squadron, Master Sergeant Dinesha Smith, escorted by her husband, Maurice.
From the Presidential Airlift Squadron, Master Sergeant Robert Stroh, escorted by his wife, Connie.
From the 744th Communications Squadron, Master Sergeant Fauna Swift, escorted by her husband, Nathan.
All day.
From the Presidential Logistics Squadron, Master Sergeant Dylan Truman, escorted by his wife, Truly.
Confidential Logistics Squadron, Master Sergeant Jarrett Ware, escorted by his wife Aubrey.
From the 316 Board Support Squadron, Master Sergeant Huck U. From the 316 Logistics Readiness Squadron, Master Sergeant Brian Young, escorted by his daughter Trinity.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in congratulating our Joint Base Andrews' newest senior non-commissioned officers. Thank you, Chief Ross and Chief Ariza.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Chief Master Sergeant Annabelle Rodriguez from 316 Mission Support Group will come forward and administer the senior non-commissioned officer charge to these new Air Force Master Sergeants.
Inductees and all senior NCOs in attendance tonight, please stand for the senior non-commissioned officer charge.
You are charged with leading and managing your teams while maintaining the highest level of readiness to ensure mission success. You are charged with translating leaders' directions into specific tasks and responsibilities your team can understand and execute. You are charged with demonstrating, inspiring, and developing others and internalizing understanding of the Air Force core values and Airman's Creed. You are charged with being an active, visible leader. You will deliberately develop junior enlisted airmen, NCOs, and fellow senior NCOs into better followers, leaders, supervisors. You are charged with supporting commissioned officers' continued development by sharing knowledge and experience to best meet your organization's mission requirements. You are charged with clearly meeting and striving to exceed the standards levied upon all junior enlisted airmen and NCOs. You will epitomize excellence, professionalism, pride, and competence, serving as a role model for all airmen to emulate. Do you accept these responsibilities? Do you accept these responsibilities? I cannot hear you.
Yes, sir.
All right, congratulations, Master Sergeants.
Thank you, you, Chief Rodriguez.
Somebody, Rob.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is truly our honor and pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for this evening. Chief Calloway is a dual-hatted as the Command Chief Master Sergeant for the Air Force District of Washington and the 320th Air Expeditionary Wing. He enlisted in the Air Force in September of 1996 and has held various civil engineer leadership positions. His assignments include bases in Ohio, New Mexico, the Kirks Republic, Texas, Alaska, Kansas, Illinois, and the Pentagon. Chief Calloway has also deployed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom, Enduring Freedom, New Dawn, and Joint Task Force, Horn of Africa. Prior to this assignment, he served as the Superintendent of the Secretary of the Air Force and Chief of Staff of the Air Force's Executive Action Group. Headquarters Air Force, Pentagon, Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Master Sergeant Leon Calloway.
Do this with the mask off, right? Man. Hey, I'll just tell y'all to start off, I was a little nervous when he said, "Do you accept this charge?" And that response was kind of quiet. I was like, man, do we have newly promoted master sergeants in here or not? Man, those legs, a little bit nervous. Hey, to our distinguished guests who our MCs have already acknowledged, and to our host, Colonel Schaff and Command Chief Ross, to the supervisors, families, friends in attendance this evening, thank you for allowing me this opportunity to participate in this great event. When I got the script for this evening, they told me I had 5 to 7 minutes to kind of deliver my speech. And I was sitting in my office with my execs, and we looked at that number, and she kind of looked at me sideways and was like, 5 to 7 minutes, Chief. I was like, why are you looking at me like that? I'm gonna just do it impromptu. She looked at me sideways again, and she said, well, you like to talk, Chief. Maybe you ought to put this down on paper. I said, no, I'll just impromptu it. And I go to my wife and I say, hey, babe, you know what? They're asking me to speak at the event, and they're giving me 5 to 7 minutes. And she looks at me and she goes, good, keep it short. So, being obedient to the ladies that run my life, my execs at work, and to my wife at home, I put it on paper, and I promise you I'm gonna try to keep this thing to 5 to 7 minutes. Good? All right. Hey, congratulations again to our newest senior non-commissioned officers. Hey, you have earned and received your rooftop. A house built and supported and strengthened by the stripes of the junior enlisted and non-commissioned officers. You will have the honor and the privilege to lead, mentor, develop, and inspire to greatness as their master sergeants. A rooftop that will also support the weight of the stripes worn by senior master sergeants and chief master sergeants. For although the stripes are the same in length and width, it is your stripes, your position, your roles and responsibilities that connect the senior leaders to our non-commissioned officers and our junior enlisted members. It is by design. It is our enlisted force structure that you will merge subordinate talents, skills, and resources with other teams and functions to most effectively accomplish the mission. It is from this lens that I want to share 2 personal stories about my interactions with master sergeants and the importance of first impressions and lasting impressions. When I typed that in, I sat there and I said, you know what, when you start anything and you say back in, you are really aging yourself, right? And whatever you get ready to say. So, but I'll stick to it. Back in 1997, Airman Basic Calloway, heading to my first duty station, arrived with no sponsor. My first personal interaction with my master sergeant in the United States Air Force was with my section leader, who didn't know I was coming to the installation. and I was the newest member of his team. I had little to no interaction with him that day or after that day. And he knew very little about me, and I knew very little about him. He didn't know my wife's name. He didn't know I had 3 young children. And he didn't know for the first 6 months being stationed at that new base, after paying bills and buying groceries, my family lived off of $25 to $50 paycheck to paycheck. And I was applying for government assistance. He didn't know my family was in the exceptional member program for my son's medical conditions. He never contacted me when my son had open heart surgery at the age of 5. In fact, I remember very little about the Master Sergeant, who was my first impression of a senior NCO in the Operational Air Force. Master Sergeants, team building is about relationships and the importance of you onboarding members onto the team and welcoming them into the organization. It should be your highest priority. Your first impression to new members will either begin to create connectedness, ease fears, create a sense of belonging to the team, or it will build and strengthen barriers and walls and keep members reserved and cautious. Fast forward to 2005. As a staff sergeant, I am on my first deployment. As an electrical systems journeyman, to my surprise, I am placed into the position of electrical systems chief, responsible for the electrical gear grid for the entire deployed location. Overwhelmed would be an understatement. But within the first hour, I met Master Sergeant McLaughlin. He was the electrical system chief that I was about to replace. It was his leadership, Master Sergeant McLaughlin, that left a lasting impression on me. My first impression was his willingness to sacrifice his time. Aware of the situation, a young NCO with a team of 2 senior airmen, 2 A1Cs, and a civilian, taking responsibility for the critical part of the mission. He decided that he was going to stay an extra week to walk me through every project, every parts order, every detailed plan required for mission success. He was approachable. He talked about his family. He talked about his plans for retirement. I felt more connected to him in 2 weeks than I had in 4 years at my first duty station. I felt like his teammate. As a Master Sergeant, he made sure the house, a rooftop for non-commissioned officers and junior enlisted members, were ready. His leadership will never be forgotten. Master Sergeants, the enlisted corps has been charged by General Brown, our Chief of Staff of the Air Force, to develop the airmen we need. Our success will no doubt hinge on your ability and your skill to effectively navigate terrain in a climate faced with pandemics, diversity and inclusion, extremism, resiliency, base infrastructure, housing issues, and also near-peer competitors that are driving us to accelerate, change, or lose. I have no doubt you are up for the task and the challenge at hand. I charge you to make your first and lasting impression the actions that will continue to develop the airmen we need for today and tomorrow. I will close and leave you with this final quote by Maya Angelou. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. Congratulations again to our newest Master Sergeants. Serve with purpose, serve with passion, serve with persistence. I look forward to serving next to you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief Calloway, for those inspiring words. A $100 donation in Chief Calloway's name was made to the American Gold Star Mothers Organization. This program supports mothers of a son or daughter who served and paid the ultimate sacrifice while serving their nation in times of war or conflict.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the Commander, 316th Wing, Joint Base Andrews, Colonel Tyler Shaw, will now deliver the closing remarks.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Congratulations to the Master Sergeant Selects. What a great opportunity to come out and celebrate this evening. So the times we're in, I feel like I need to throw out a qualifier there. I might have a little cough up here. I promise I tested yesterday. I'm negative. This is the world we're in, though, so hang with me as I go through this. But hey, before I get any more comments, you know, I owe this group some thank yous this evening. The JBAB Club, who did a wonderful job. Thanks for having us this evening. Hey, how about Senior Airman Clark? I'm sure she jetted out of here, but what a great rendition of that. I heard she did at least 2 events today, so good on her. And Master Sergeant Williams, great job with the invocation. Thanks for all you do to support our airmen. But I'd also like for those who are part of the Senior NCO Induction Ceremony Committee, please stand up so we can recognize all the work you did to put it. So I'll admit, I know it was a team event, but Master Sergeant Sears, well done. You're just a get her done type of person. Master Sergeant Miller and Master Sergeant Horn, well done. Thanks for leading by excellence. Well done. Okay, well, a couple of additional thank yous. Thank you, sir, for the photographer. I know you're out here doing this on your time, so we appreciate you. Thanks, Airman Young from PA, and thanks to our protocol team. You know, it takes everybody coming together to make things happen. I'm so appreciative that we've got the team that we do. JC from Mr. Colonnade from AFDW, thank you for being here and representing AFDW. Colonel Lau, thanks for representing, being a great mission partner from the 844th. Colonel Nelson, thanks for always adding a little noise to the event. And Colonel Jones from the 89th, man, you just have so many medals. I'm intimidated by you over there. Chief Ariza, thanks for being here. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to my wingman, Chief Ross, for being invested this entire week on this PA. Thanks for your leadership. Okay, our sponsors. You know, we couldn't do this without our sponsors, right? I don't know if anybody had a up-close look at, you know, the mementos that we gave, but those are pretty cool, and there's a lot of additional costs that go into this. So the JBA Top 3, the JBA First Sergeants Council, the Sam Fox Top 3, the USO, SparkX, the 316C Squadron was instrumental in helping, and First Command here, Mr. Ethan Hokinson at our table. Thank you, sir, for your contributions as well. Let's give them all a round of applause. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say a huge thank you to Chief Calloway. Thank you so much for your words and for your leadership at AFDW. I'll tell you, we really hit the jackpot when Chief Calloway and Ms. Calloway showed up and leading from our AFDW perspective. So glad to team with you and welcome aboard. Well, I was watching as the different family members came up on stage. So we saw one that may be 1 year old here in a couple days, or I'm sorry, maybe born here in a couple days. We saw, you know, some youngsters. We saw Chris, happy birthday, happy 17. Awesome to have you here. We saw some parents, right? I was visiting with some folks. Let's see, Master Sergeant Smith, I was talking to her. And she found out she got to have a +1 to the +1, and her mom jumped on an airplane from Arkansas and showed up today. So if you can stand, we recognize you. Where'd she go? There she is over there. How cool is that to have your mom recognize your accomplishments and flying up from Arkansas? You should be proud, and to all the family members out there, you should be exceptionally proud of our Master Sergeant Selects. It is a huge accomplishment, a job well done, and something you should all be proud of. And so why are we here tonight? You know, we heard some great words from Chief Ross yesterday at the induction ceremony. We heard some wonderful words from Chief Calloway, and I'm going to echo and just throw a few things on there. But I mean, how many people got babysitters tonight? You know, so we put bow ties on and we come out here, and why do we do this? I mean, a couple different reasons, right? A tradition of what's important in the military to come out and recognize those that are getting ready to be senior NCOs. Chief Ross said something yesterday that really hit me. You're not just promoting to another rank, you're promoting to another tier. And let me tell you a little bit about what Airman Basic Schaff remembers about senior NCOs and Master Sergeants. I wrote 3 names down real quick. Master Sergeant Jones, Master Sergeant Pontu, Master Sergeant French. You know who those guys were? Those were the guys I relied on when I really needed the big dogs to come in, right? And that's where you are right now. You have some additional superpowers to do super things for our super airmen. And I'm so excited for the future of our Air Force. You're going to hear a lot of talk about the Great Power Competition. I know you had opportunities this week during PDS, but I'll tell you what, I'm not worried. I look around, I talk to you, I see what you do, I see what you accomplish every day, and I'm so excited for our future of the Air Force. Congratulations to you all. Thanks for coming out this evening, and keep pressing excellence. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Shaw. And to our newest Master Sergeants and their guests, we hope you have enjoyed this event. Before we conclude this evening, it is customary that we sing the Air Force song. The lyrics are on the last page of your sequence of events, and we invite all our guests to join with us. Please rise for the Air Force song. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, flying high into the sun. Here it comes, soon to meet our thunder, attaboys, give it a gun. Give it a gun! Down we dive, smoking flames from under, off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame, go down in flames. Hey! Nothing stopped the U.S. Air Force.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the 2021 Joint Base Andrews Senior Non-Commissioned Officer Induction Ceremony. Thank you all for attending. We wish you a pleasant evening and safe travels
Can I get a picture with you too?
to your destination. It was an honor to serve as your MC this evening. Good night.
Let's go now.